LG? For soundbars? They are the king of OLED TVs, but soundbars? What pedigree do I have for sound? Well, they knew this question would come up. So they have partnered with Meridian of UK, which is the snob brand for sound systems. And that marriage has resulted in some surprisingly good products. They have several models, starting with the SJ3 and topping out with the SL10YG. They have ensured the higher-end models support both Dolby Atmos and DTS:X, which are the two most popular object-oriented sound format specifications. Netflix has a lot of content that is Dolby Atmos audio, and Amazon Prime makes it very difficult to find, but apparently support it. So support for Atmos is very important. I'll not go into what is Dolby Atmos, and why it is so popular. That will just lead to more hair tearing, as to which is better and why. I spent the lockdown period watching a lot of movies, while getting used to working from home. Wring my hands that I don't have a sound system good enough to make movies sound like it should. Instead of sounding like hearing it on a mobile phone speaker, the effect of lockdown is different on different people. Isn't it? There are so many people suffering, and here I am, worked up about not being able to hear good sound from my TV. I sympathize with the ones who have suffered, have applauded those who have been at the forefront of the war against that invisible little monster. Have banged utensils on my balcony, waved lights with the best of them, thanked God that we are all safe so far, but, still, the sound on my TV is bugging me. More than 2 months later, the government, in its infinite wisdom, finally allows the shops to open and online retailers to commence delivery. I called that LG store, where I got the demo, and asked them if they can source the soundbar for me. He comes back within a couple of hours, and says, there is no possibility of this happening until at least next month. Okay, let's check out if Bezos has it. Yes and no. There is the LG-SL8Y available, but not the LG-SL8YG. Back to the research, what is the difference between these two? Turns out the only appreciable difference is that the YG has Google Assistant. I can live without that, otherwise they are the same down to the last screw. I actually downloaded both user manuals and checked them page by page. No other difference, or at least none that I could find. One benefit is that the SL8Y is available for about 9,000 lesser than the SL8YG. So I buy it instantly. Amazon says the delivery will take 4 days. Painful, but nothing I can do. It is better than not having it at all. Imagine my surprise when I get a text message on the same evening saying the product has been dispatched and will be delivered in the morning. Wow. The product was probably in stock, and they have wasted no time in dispatching it. Like they have been waiting for someone to take it off their hands. I go to sleep urging the sun to speed up in its tracks. Why is it wasting so much time on the other side of the world? And then the sun comes up. The delivery is made quite early at around 8:30 in the morning, so not much waiting involved there. It took totally 16 hours from the moment I clicked the pay button to the moment I got my hands on it. And that is counting 12 hours of no service. Wow. The package tracker shows the product moving through the night from the warehouse to the local distribution center, so these guys work 24/7. Here is all. Right, the product sitting in my living room, very good packaging, that plastic sheet is quite thick, had to use some big scissors to get through it. Okay, this is the living room setup. Now, the amount I paid for the product seems to be great value for the money. I don't know why this has happened, or whether Amazon has mislisted the product on its page, or whether the dealer has supplied the wrong item. I cross-check with the invoice sent along with the package, and that says LG-SL8YG as well. I'm not one to look a gift horse in the mouth. So the unpacking immediately starts. The packaging is quirky to say the least. It must be a nightmare for logistics guys to transport this. The basic specs for the product is shown here. 440 watts, and 3.1.2, with Dolby Atmos, 5.1.2 ready, means you can buy 2 more rear speakers and pair it with this to make it a true surround sound setup. Dolby Atmos, DTS:X, high-res audio and Google Assistant built into it, imported in August 2019, so it is the latest version available. Made in China, but what isn't nowadays? At least it was shipped well before the COVID-19 disaster, so I'm not feeling as guilty as I would have otherwise. All items are now unpacked, and there are 2 boxes, one for the subwoofer, and another for the soundbar itself. The second box contains all the other items like remote, cables, manuals, etc. There is a taped instruction that says, "Dude, connect to Wi-Fi first, before you do anything else." I later realized why this is prominently placed. I also love the small flower-like bumps on the thermocouple, adds an element of art to the otherwise bland box. Right, all items are unpacked and out on display. LG has included a set of cable ties too, very thoughtful of them, to help avoid cable clutter. There is also a wall mounting installation template, and a set of wall brackets, in case you want to do a wall mount. It wasn't meant to be wall mounted, but the possibility is there. This is on the back of the soundbar. It comes with one HDMI ARC, one standard HDMI and one optical connector. The USB port is for plugging in a USB drive if you feel like listening to songs directly. The soundbar is now mounted below the TV, where it is supposed to sit. The width is perfect for a 55 inches TV. Its big brother, the SL10YG, is designed for 65 inches TVs and is actually wider than a 55-inch TV screen. I immediately install the Google Home app, and it detects the soundbar. The first step is to supply the Wi-Fi password, so that it can connect to my home network. This happens smoothly, and the very first thing it does is to download a software update. Must be quite a big one, as it took about 5 minutes on a 150 MB/s line. This is why the instruction above to connect to the Wi-Fi first up. After the update, Google Home asks me a few questions on where this unit is placed, etc., and we are good to go. This is how it looks after the setup is complete. I need to do something about the cables being visible, but that is for later. The first thing I try it out on is the outstanding Formula 1 Drive to Survive series on Netflix. The series is in Dolby Vision and has Dolby Atmos as audio, so this will be the best way to test the sound. It is a huge improvement on the TV's native speakers, let me tell you. The scream of the F1 car engines, the roar of the crowd, the excitement in the commentator's voice all come through very clearly. But there is a problem: to copy the tone of wildlife commentators, David Attenborough. Dolby Atmos is not showing up on the soundbar. What is the problem here? Defective unit? No. As usual, Google has the answer. Someone somewhere has said that, when connected to the LG-SL8, the sound settings have to be changed to such and such. Before you can get Dolby Atmos on the LG-SL8YG. Very specific instructions for very specific models. What will we do without the internet? I quickly change the TV settings as prescribed and restart. Lo and behold, Dolby Atmos appears on the soundbar's tiny display. And it does make a difference to the sound. But you have to sit closer to the TV to feel the difference. Now for some review stuff. Build quality, 9/10. Excellent build quality. The soundbar looks and feels premium. It also happens to blend seamlessly into our living room decor, which is predominantly white and gray. There are a total of 8 speakers on the soundbar itself. You can see them clearly in this photo. The left, right, and center channels are handled by a small tweeter and a oval-shaped woofer pair, each, plus 2 medium-sized upward-firing Atmos speakers, on the top of the soundbar. That is the 3 and 2 part of the 3.1.2 specification. The one of course is the subwoofer sitting below. The subwoofer is quite a heavy unit, and is covered with the standard speaker cloth. There is a large, 7 inches driver sitting inside, handling all the bass stuff in the audio. There is a small auto-dimming display unit on the front, which shows the input type, ARC in my case, and says hello on startup and goodbye. When you switch it off, it also shows the input format, Dolby Atmos, or DTSX, although I haven't seen that one yet, need to find proper content for it. It also shows volume levels among other things. Could have been a bit wider, it looks a little cramped. Sound quality, 8/10. It is when you fire up a movie, with serious sound effects, that you know your money is well spent. The first thing I view is the new Chris Hemsworth title, Extraction. I had pushed the volume up to about 60%. For some reason it goes from 0 to 40, where is the sense in that? Why not 0 to 50, if they wanted finer control? And the opening rumble is so deep that my mom came rushing to the living room, to find out what was the problem. The gunshots sound awesome, to say the least. Every single sound is clear and directional, thanks to the Atmos effect. You can really hear the bullets whizzing past you and literally tell where the shot came from. Oh, this is good. The helicopter comes in and you can hear the thump-thump of the blades in your heart, lungs and liver. The neighbors will barge in soon to complain, I'm guessing. So why 8 out of 10? When the volume is high, the dialogue is not as clear as it could be. tends to get lost sometimes in the deeper sounds. The Yamaha 209 has a tech called Clear Voice, which is supposed to overcome this specific issue. I haven't heard it myself, but apparently it works as advertised. Secondly, for the Atmos effect to really take hold, you have to be seated within 6 feet of the screen. Now that is impractical in almost all cases. Who will watch a 55 inches TV from 6 feet away? It is not that the sound is bad from the more normal distance of 10 to 12 feet. But the Atmos effect is quite diminished, especially the overhead sounds. Apart from this, I have no other quibbles on the sound quality. Features, 8/10. Lots of small goodies on this thing that you can appreciate. There is a nifty night mode that reduces the subwoofer output to minimum, so that you won't go waking up the neighbors. Thanks Brian Adams. Each channel gets its own volume control, so you can set your exact preference depending on the room dimensions and the TV location. Google Assistant is very helpful during the setup process. I haven't used it to ask inane questions like, "What's the weather like?" or anything, but it is good to know it is there and waiting to answer. The LG TV itself has a voice assistant, so too many assistants around. Moreover, I'm a Siri guy. Haven't tried directly playing music off the USB, as I'm sure navigating the songs and folders will be a nightmare on the small display. But again, it is capable. There are several sound modes, like music, movie, standard, bass, treble, etc. But I think movie mode sounds best. Note that these effects are not available when playing Atmos content. Finally, LG has a system called SimpLink, which turns off the soundbar when the TV turns off and on back again. So the soundbar remote is not going to be used at all, as even the volume control is slave to the TV remote. Overall rating, 8/5. Quite good for a mid-level soundbar, from a company that has very little pedigree in sound technology. The partnership with Meridian has paid off, and it shows, or sounds, as the case may be. And finally, a sunset from the balcony of our living room. We are fortunate to be able to see both the sunrise and the sunset. Sometimes the sunsets are really spectacular. I should make a separate thread for them. I hope you enjoyed the review, and if it helps anyone, it will make me doubly happy. Please do let me know in the comments. Thanks for reading, and until next time, take care. And there are a few links that has been provided in the YouTube description box. This include discounts, as well as unique products that you cannot come across in Google search. I earn a small commission if you buy anything from that link. Please buy me a beer. If you have any clarification, comment below the video. I will try my best to clear your doubts. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like my video, please subscribe and click on the bell icon so that you will get my new videos. Also, don't forget to hit on like button. Thanks for watching. You are listening to Jason Peter, signing off.